Alright guys, this is a game I didn't have a lot of expectations for. As a matter of fact, I expect there to be quite a bit of subs and even B team for Barcelona against Rayo, as they're in the relegation tier. But turned out that there was quite a bit to learn from it. Matter of fact, Barcelona 3, Rayo 1, but that's not telling the whole story. The first half, you could tell Barcelona started out fairly conservative. They weren't pressing so hard. You could tell they want to win, but they're conserving energy. Valverde knew that he couldn't put in a B squad, probably because we don't have the luxury of falling any points, and we know when we take it too easy and Messi doesn't start, sometimes Barcelona falls behind. But we fell behind 1-0 in the 28th minute. Tomas from Rayo actually was attacking from the other half. They get into about the 18-yard box. Semedo was back there, Pique got back, Umtiti was back there, and it wasn't that we didn't have any defenders back. As a matter of fact, it was just a great shot. Tomas cuts the ball in, he's on the 18-yard line, cuts to the right, stutter steps, cuts to the right, and he hit a right upper V shot. It was a great shot. It was unable to be saved. Barcelona goes down 0-1, and at that point in time, I noticed the strategy. We had Coutinho on the left wing, Suarez up top, Messi on the right, Vidal, Arthur, and Busquets were in the middle. And this would be important later on because of the changes that they made. And as you know, lately you've seen Pique doing a lot of rushing from the back, and he finds himself open in a lot of opportunities. So that first half, they had Pique running up quite a bit. And it turned out that Pique would actually score Barcelona's very first goal. That was in the 38th minute off of a free kick outside on the right side of the 18-yard box. Messi served it in. Pique ran near post, stayed on side, flicked the ball over to the right side of the box, 1-1. But what I found most interesting was after halftime. So at halftime, whereas I'm usually a proponent of Arthur playing in the middle and creating opportunities, I noticed that there was a completely new strategy in the second half. They switched out Arthur for Dembele. So what you had in this situation was Dembele came in, seemed to be playing on the right side. Coutinho fell back. It seemingly fell back into Arthur's position, which is great because I think a lot of us Barcelona fans will admit that it feels like Coutinho is pushed artificially too high as a left winger, and he's more of an opportunity generator. When he gets up top and he's the last man, it's like he has a hard time deciding what to do to keep moving forward if there's no opportunities for passes in front. But when he plays a little bit more conservative, a little more tucked into the midfield, he has great opportunities down the line from the fullback racing up, Jordi Alba, or inside somebody cutting in, or faking a run on the outside, cutting inside and hitting that right-footed far post shot. So it was great to see. You had Dembele, Coutinho, Suarez, and Messi all operating in that upper front tier of the attack, and I'm hoping what Valverde was trying to do was come up with a formation that they can use versus Lyon, and we have seen this formation be highly effective with all of them being used in the attack. So fast forward a little bit, and you're going to see in the 51st minute there was a penalty. And what this was generated, another key thing that I took from this game was when Dembele's playing out on the right side and Semedo is the right fullback doing overlapping runs, it's clear that they are starting to build a pretty strong bond, a good relationship on the side of anticipating who's going to be where and who to play in front. So Semedo made it all the way down to the baseline inside the box, cut into the box, and was able to draw a foul inside the box. Messi took the penalty, and I noticed he's been changing his penalty a little bit. You know, he takes so many of them that people are starting to get used to his shot. This time he ran up, did a stutter step, but not a long stutter, caught the goalie moving in a direction, and then went to the right side. It was a great penalty. 2-1 Barcelona. Then moving forward even a little bit further, it was just really interesting to see not only that Pique was now in the second half was staying further back. Once you have Coutinho, Dembele, Messi, and Suarez in almost a wing formation with Coutinho dropping in the back, he doesn't need, it seems like Pique didn't feel the opportunity or didn't want to create the risk of coming all the way back from the center back position. So he laid back, so did the defense. You can see Vidal and Busquets also stayed further back and let them do their magic up front. And it was an attack that it was a new type of attack that I saw. And it looked like there was always two players keeping the field wide. Dembele, Coutinho keeping it very wide. Sometimes Suarez went even out wide, but there was always two options inside. One making a near post, one making a far post run. And this seems to be probably one of our most effective attacks. I'm hoping Valverde learned from this. And it seemed like something new, since usually he wouldn't leave Dembele and Coutinho in at the same time, which I know we all want him to, but he doesn't typically do that. So this is a good sign. And then as the play kept building up, attacks from the outside, options on the inside, they were kind of gutting them in and out. It was really nice to see. And then in the 82nd minute, Suarez actually scored a goal, and it was once again that relationship between you have Suarez hitting out to Dembele, Dembele into Rakitic, Rakitic back to Suarez in the far post. Simple, easy shot. But what I've noticed in the last few games, when Rakitic comes in, and he was a sub in this game, he's pushing much further up as an attacking presence, and he's been very efficient in it. And I've also noticed that Semedo creates a big opportunity down that right side. And there's just a lot of positive things that I didn't really expect. I thought this was just going to be a sub game. And another thing to point out, Roberto didn't come in this game, and I know that Valverde tries so hard trying to find an opportunity and a place to put him in, but sometimes he doesn't fit, and I hate to say that because he's a solid, well-rounded player, but as far as down the right side when Semedo's playing right fullback, him and Dembele have a speed to be able to make the right side a complete fire burner down the right side. And then the center mid, we have a lot better options. You have Arthur, you have Vidal, you have Busquets, you have Rakitic, you can pull Coutinho in, and Roberto doesn't really qualify as good of players as them. So shouldn't really be our first option as a center mid, and he shouldn't really be our option as a right fullback. Semedo has showed to be much more of a threat. He keeps the offense pinned back because he's working that line, and when him and Jordi Alba are able to do that, they create so many opportunities. It's a shame to leave that attack presence out. So with that being said, really excited. I hope they use some of this strategy. I really hope they continue to use this formation, or at least work with it. I was happy to see Valverde was able to change the formation once at halftime. It was 1-1, and we weren't necessarily putting 100% out on the field, but we also weren't being very successful at creating opportunities. The changes at halftime, just one player and a formation change and a strategy change, with the defense staying back and the offense punishing Rayo's defense, and it was very effective, and I hope to see that in Champions League. Next game I'm going to do, guys, is the Juventus versus Atletico Madrid, and of course I'll cover Barcelona versus Lyon. Have a good weekend.